So in less than a year, I'm gonna exit my 30s. And anytime you leave a decade, 9 going on 10, or maybe not then, 19 going on 20, 29 going on 30, etc. I think it's natural to look back on the past decade and think about what I do right, what I do wrong. If I could go back in time, what would I do differently? So as I'm about to exit my 30s, I want to take a step back and tell you all the things that I wish I'd done differently in my 20s. Here are the 3 things that I regret not doing in my 20s. The first thing, and this might be a little controversial, I regret not spending enough money. I'm the one who tells you to save up money for a down payment, be financially responsible, and you should. But scared money don't make money. When I graduated college and I came to New York City and I got my first paycheck and I saw all the taxes taken out of it and I was like, what is this? I was immediately afraid. I didn't look at money as a powerful resource. I didn't look at it as a tool. I looked at it as something that I needed to work for. I looked at it as my boss. And that is an unhealthy relationship with money. I hoarded it. I didn't want to do anything. I lived in the tiniest little apartment that I could possibly live in with like rats and things. I didn't even have my own bathroom. I didn't spend any money because I was so afraid of it. And if I really look back at my 20s, what was I so afraid of? Was I really gonna go broke? If I got an apartment that was a little bit nicer or I had my own bathroom? No. Was I really gonna go broke if I went to that extra dinner? No. And it took me until my early 30s to realize that you need to spend money to make money work for you. And so if I could go back in time, I would spend more money. I would have spent money on experiences, on help, on people, resources, instead of just being so afraid of it, like it was gonna go away at any given day. And that feeling has never really left me. And I think I have that PTSD really, of me running out of money in New York City, sitting on that subway train, leaving the grocery store after my debit card had been declined, and just tears in my eyes like, look at this place, I hate everybody, I can't do it, I just want to go home. Part of me, I think, has been built up on top of that foundation because I am very fiscally responsible, but I think part of me has also been really, really traumatized by that moment because I live every single day afraid that I'm gonna go back to that point, and so I fight every day to get as far away from that subway bench as possible, and that's not healthy. The money you make in your 20s is not gonna be your career money that you make for you and your family, unless you're like a savant. But even then, the money Mark Zuckerberg has today is way beyond the money he had when he was in his 20s. So spend some money, live a little. The second thing I regret not doing in my 20s, this might also be controversial. Everyone says you gotta stick through things. You gotta stick with it. Stay in that relationship, it's gonna get better. Stay in that job, it's gonna get better. I definitely erred on the side of, I'm sticking through this because I do what I say I'm gonna do. But I regret not quitting enough. I regret sticking through some of the things I said I was gonna stick through. I regret going forward on dates and meetings and things that I knew were just gonna be a huge waste of my time, that I wasn't interested in anyway. I regret not quitting acting earlier. I'd be further along in my career that I'm in now, that I found later, had I not just realized, okay, you know what? This isn't really making me happy. Not that I don't think you need to stick things through and really, really go for it, but if you know in your heart of hearts that, you know what, maybe this isn't right for me, maybe I'm not happy doing this, then what are you waiting for? That something magical is about to happen? What's magical is what's gonna happen next. That's where you find the glory. I never would be where I am today had I not actually quit theater later on. I wouldn't be with my wife today had I not actually quit that girlfriend that I had. That's weird to say. What I mean to say is if you feel like you're forcing something to work, maybe it's not meant to be. There's a world of opportunities out there. Not everything you commit yourself to has to go forward. You know how many people in jobs I meet every day who are in their 40s, let alone their 30s and their 20s, who are just sticking with it because that's part of the plan. They went to school for it, they're just doing it, they're sticking through it, and now they've got bills, now they got responsibilities, now they got kids, now they got this and that, when they should have let go and done something else a long, long time ago. Your 20s is a decade meant for you to fall over. Experience failure. Knock yourself down, get back up. No one cares. It's not gonna mean anything. You're not afraid of failure, you're just afraid of being embarrassed. And the third thing that I regret not doing in my 20s is right in line with one of my favorite quotes. I'd rather regret the things I did than the things I never tried. No matter how difficult or scary or uncomfortable they are, you only know the world the way you know it in your brain right now. And right now, as you're listening to this, this is the greatest day you've ever known because it's the only day you can actually live in. You can't go forward or backward in time. But there is so much life coming at you. Like so much. And I wish I had taken life so seriously. I wish I hadn't gotten so serious about every little thing and bills and the taxes and the this and the relation, like all that stuff in my 20s. It wouldn't have made any difference. I wish I had traveled more in my 20s. I wish I had met crazy people up and down the world. I've never been to Alaska. I should have gone there when I was 27 instead of whatever else I was doing when I was 27. I'd rather have spent money on things that would have made me happy, would have been great experiences. Because think, right now, tell me in 3 seconds, what's a material good that you bought in your 20s that has changed your life forever? 1, 2, 3. You can't think of it, can you? Neither can I. Your 20s are your entrepreneurial graduate school degree. That's where you're there to learn, to understand. If you make money, bonus. If you just get by, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fail. That's the job. The job of your 20s is to make mistakes and fail. Understand them, learn from them, because you have 70 fucking years after that to make a difference in the life you want to lead. I'm sure there's a lot more regrets that I have. And if you have other regrets that you think that I haven't mentioned, put them in the comments. Let's make this the most regrettable comment section in any more Ryan Serhant vlog of all time. And a bonus regret that I wish I hadn't made my entire life is I never asked for enough. So I got 2 favors from you. 1, go subscribe to my podcast. Link is below, Business of Influence. We interview some of the most influential people across social around the world to see how they're taking content to commerce in their life. And then 2, my 3rd book, Brand It Like Serhant. If you got Sell It Like Serhant, one of the greatest sales books in the history of the known universe that came out a couple years ago, international bestseller now, I've taught you how to sell. If you got my 2nd book, Big Money Energy, that came out during the pandemic, I gave you the mindset to use those sales tools to sell anything. And now this completes the trifecta, the trilogy of entrepreneurship. Brand It Like Serhant. It's the biggest, longest, most impactful book I've ever written. Comes out January 23rd. Pre-orders are available now. You can get them on Amazon or go to branditLikeSerhant.com. Buy them in bulk, get thousands. You know what to do. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching.